batteries. So something popped out. So that should be working. Yeah. JD talking sports. OKC. OKC is the NBA champions. Now, let's be honest here. Yeah, Brian, all right, we'll add him. All right. Brian wants to join. All right, we got him going. And there we have one person with us. We are doing YouTube and going crazy here on YouTube. YouTube is okay. All right, so I just realized I have everything on this phone, but that's okay. I'm just going to go with it. Hey, Barnes,
Yes.
What do you think about the Yankees this weekend? How are you feeling about things? I mean, starting tonight against the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, you're just hoping that this is the start of the turnaround. I mean, obviously things were a little murky late, against the Orioles, but the fact that they came back, I mentioned this yesterday, only the second victory where they trailed after 7 innings. So it's just winning that series after not winning one since Kansas City. So now, you face the Reds and you feel like that's a series you should be able to win 2 out of 3. They don't score that many runs, and their pitching is just okay. So I think it just you want to start with a win tonight, and then I think you should have no problem winning another series.
And who's on the mound tonight for me? Tell me who's on the mound tonight.
So for the Yankees, Alan Winans, a little bit of a German. I want to say at this point he's either 29 or 31. I forget which one. But he's with the Braves for a while, in the minors for a while. I think injuries, and then just kind of bombed out in the majors. But this year with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, has a .9 ERA. And the Yankees have been high on him. I think they actually recalled him. Maybe it was a doubleheader earlier in the season. He didn't end up pitching. So with Yarborough going on the injured list, it's a good opportunity for him. I mean, obviously you would think when everybody's healthy, he would, if anything, he'd be a bullpen piece, but it's just, for the future to see if he's a candidate to kind of fill in, or, if he has good enough stuff where you feel like you can rely him out of the bullpen. So it gives him an opportunity to take a look at him.
Did you see that Spencer Jones got Player of the Week? I mean, he is lighting it up at Somerset. He is lighting it up. Yeah. Now, do you feel, would you use him as a trading chip? I saw that, what did Ernie put up? That he said he would love them to go after the Colorado. Who's the guy from Colorado? Ryan McMahon.
And Ryan McMahon.
Suarez with D-backs.
So you know what the thing is? I would trade Spencer Jones, but not for those guys. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna trade Spencer Jones, have that be a part of a bigger package where we're getting somebody that maybe. We have to have kind of like a bidding war with, you know what I mean? Not somebody who's like, okay, they're pretty solid, but it's like, do they have any future in their organization, or are they a star? And if neither is true, then I wouldn't want to part with Spencer Jones.
Right. That's the thing too. But okay, you don't want to part with him, but where the hell does he go? There's no spot for him right now with the Yankees, right? There is no spot at all right now. That's what worries me. I mean, are we going to keep him down there forever? I mean, what is that going to be,
I mean, I would think next year, it's going to come into play because, first of all, too, if Bellinger, opts out, he might be one and done here. But also, I mean, let's be real. As much as I believe in him and think he'll establish himself, Jason Dominguez, hasn't done that yet. So there might be an opportunity for him to have a role. So that's the thing. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If you're trading for a non-all-star, why are you going to give up one of your best prospects in your organization? But if, and I know he's not available, but if it was like something like, oh, you could get Manny Machado, then you...
Yeah, right.
I mean, I want to use it for something big.
But not just to get someone like fill a hole this year. You want to get someone that's going to be around in the future, too. I agree with you 100% on that front. 100%. Yeah.
And but at the same time, for like McMahon, I would give up Volpe. I know it seems like you're kind of giving up a lot, but at least with Volpe, I mean, as well as I do, it just doesn't seem like he's going to pan out to where he wants to be. So I'd rather get something for him now than have him just flame out and release him like he's Clint Frazier.
Right. And did I see something with Clint Frazier I got to look it up, but I could have sworn I saw something with Clint Frazier saying something about the Yankees giving up too soon on certain players. I could be wrong. I could have sworn I had something with Clint Frazier the last couple days I saw, because I follow like 8,000 people, and I know he said something about. I'm looking him up right now because I want. Yeah, Clint Frazier. I could have sworn he said something. Wait, Clint Frazier. Oh, yeah. I saw something threatening a former teammate, but I thought he said something. Oh, that's what he said. He said, I feel like they hired a few too many rocket scientists to try to make the lineup. Clint Frazier says someone in the Yankees analytics department told them they don't believe in players getting hot and that they are who they are. And I think that's a crock of shit. I agree with Clint Frazier on that front. What do you think about that? That's what I saw.
Yeah, no, and I did see that. And I do agree with you. That's a crock of shit. The only thing I would say is I don't know if I necessarily believe Clint Frazier that that was actually said, because he strikes me as somebody that's very bitter on how like his career went. You know?
Yeah, I mean, very bitter, because I thought But you know what's interesting? I was talking to Bumbles is a big Mets fan, and he feels like you do about the and Josh always brings up prospects or suspects. He goes, how many 5-tool guys become that guy? Like, how many 5-tool guys actually pan out? And he went bam, 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 bam. And I was like, wow, dude, that's a lot of people you're telling me about right now. He's like, and I was like, wow, I forgot about, Alex Ochoa. Remember Mills? Remember Mills was supposed to be 5-tool, does everything. He never, Rico Bronya. Dominic Smith is another guy, came to the Yankees. That's another guy they said can't miss. That sucks too. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I've been talking about it too. I think it's embarrassing how you just don't have a lot of.
Oh, we lost you. Is he back? I heard you, and then you disappeared on me. Are you there? You froze. Now I got you. Okay, what were you saying? It all got cut off.
No, I was saying I think it's embarrassing how, other than Judge, they haven't developed a position player in 20 years?
Doesn't it now? You are a true Yankee fan. I would have been gone if you guys weren't staying Friday. I would have been sayonara, see you later. But I was like, Barnes is here, and maybe they'll have But that team that played Friday was not the team I saw Saturday and Sunday. You did, honestly, when they blew that 2-1 lead, I said, oh, it's over. I really thought they were going to blow the whole game. And they came, they're down 2-1. I'm like, I don't think they're going to come back. And then I'm hoping tonight it comes to something. I really do.
It's, it had been a tough stretch leading into last weekend. But the whole thing is, you win a series here. Especially if I'm not saying it'll happen, but if you sweep the Reds, you're pretty much back to where you were in terms of games over 500 already. So it's like, as long as it seems, as bad as it seems, you can be right where you need to be, just like that.
Right. And I have to talk to you. You'll appreciate this. So I was talking to Bumbles today, my friend Bumbles, and the Mets are 1-8 their last 9. They have been outscored 68. I want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to screw this up. They have been outscored. They're 1-8 their last 9, and they've been outscored 62-28 in the last 9 games. That is atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, I think you could look at it a couple different ways. I think one thing is that, in the beginning of the year, I kind of questioned, everyone was so riled. Oh, here's the Mets pitching lab again. And you're talking about Canning and Holmes. And I know Holmes is hung in there, but I think everybody had a warped perception of reality of how good those guys are going to be. If they want to go win a World Series, like the fan base is earning for, you got to trade for at least one frontline starter. They have nobody in that rotation. You want to say you're going to count on Senga to be your ace when he can't even stay healthy for more than a month at a time?
Right. And that's the thing. Well, that's what we were saying. So I was defending Senga, and he goes, well, Senga can't stay healthy. And that's the thing, they always talk about, well, if he can't play, then what's the point? And that's the thing with a lot of
availability.
Right. Yep. Parcells. So I'm kind of like, it's a good point. I'm just like, I'm very curious. Oh, dude, you got a barn burner out there. I feel like you're in the city, but
No, I'm in Stanford, which is actually a pretty big city
Yes.
for Connecticut. I mean, obviously it's no New York City,
But yeah, no. So the Yankees are 2.5 up with the win yesterday. And you know what's crazy, Barnes? I just went to ESPN because I always like to see what I have an option of watching tonight. ESPN at 7 to 7:30 to be announced. 7:30 to 10:30 to be announced. They don't have anything on. There's nothing to show today. We are in baseball or else. You have nothing to watch.
And that's why it makes no sense why ESPN was so like eager to get out of the baseball market, because it's like,
right. What are they going to? Right.
Live sports is everything. Plus I know, like, the people who are all into the NBA and the NFL, and not that I don't like, especially the NFL. The NFL's great. But just, the whole, baseball's dead, this and that. But these big teams, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, they have huge fan bases. So if you have marquee matchups with them, people are going to watch, and especially if they get deep into the playoffs. And I know ESPN's just had the wild card rounds, but those fan bases are going to watch. Like, it's not a dead product. You just have to have the right content on.
Right. What do you think about what do you think about Halliburton yesterday? So another guy, I was talking to James Dorman downstairs about it. So KD came back from, I think he had a strained calf too, came back with Golden State, blew it out. They said he played 5 games on this calf. And you start changing the way you move. You favor a leg, you do something. And the way you just saw the whole calf go bloop, rippled up. It was like bloop. Well, that's the end of that. I mean, it was crazy. That was crazy, Les.
It is. And I know, like, this instance, what you're pointing to is, it was already compromised. But what do you think it is? Because, I mean, we saw Lillard, we saw Tatum, and then Halliburton happens last night. Why do you think there's so many of these injuries, like, late in the season? Is it just wear and tear?
Oh, I think think about this. So how many games do you think, what game of the season was it yesterday for Indiana? Can you take a guess? What number game was yesterday?
Let's see. So you got 82,
right?
And then you got 308. So, I mean, it had to be like 110 or something?
105. So that's the thing too. And you know what? They're more athletic. And I wonder if they do enough leg strength exercise. I wonder if they don't work. I see, I'm not into their training things, but a lot of basketball players have those really skinny, chicken legs. And I just wonder, because KD is a stick. And you know what? You're trying, that's the thing too. You bring him back and whatever they're doing, they're trying to get him so he can play. And it seems like every guy has an injury that they try to bring him back. And he's done next year. And that's what I wanted to look. Do you know how I want to look up Halliburton's contract situation? Is he on a long-term? I don't think he's on a long-term deal. I could be wrong, but that's what I was trying to look at his.
It didn't just.
So he is on a. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So he's on a 5-year $244. So he's okay. I think I don't. But still, that'll affect. Well, I don't know if it's going to affect because he probably made some. But yeah, he's in a 5-year $228. Yeah, he just signed. That began with this season. So he's in a 5-year $244.62. I didn't know if he was in, but they said he's going to miss all next season, which is. And now the East is like wide open. What were we going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Well. First, with these injuries, I mean, you just don't know the Achilles. I just feel like there's so many examples of guys never being the same. So that's really tough. And then I agree, the East is open, and that's why the whole thing. And like I thought it was kind of stupid just because you don't really have like a solid plan. But now I think it's time to kind of let go of the negativity with the Knicks and Thibodeau, and just realize that they have a really big opportunity, and they should do everything they can to strengthen this team this year. Just really go all in. I know they don't have a lot of draft picks to trade, but just whatever you have to do to improve that roster.
And to think about this, we haven't even talked about it. I don't know if you talked about it on Downtime TV, but they still don't have a goddamn coach. I don't even think they interviewed anybody last week. So it's kind of like blows my mind to think.
And what's the deal? Have they reached out to Malone? Are they interested in Malone? Because to me, that seemed like somebody they would talk to.
I heard Mike Brown. That's who I heard this week was Mike Brown. That's the only name that sticks out to me. Mike Brown, and I heard Walton, which I was like, come on. Walton's son was in over his head. And we're done here.
Yeah. It's interesting. I do understand why a Knicks fan wouldn't want Mike Brown, but one thing I will say is I do think he's kind of gotten a raw deal because he was very good with the Cavs originally when LeBron was there.
Yep,
and
agreed.
I know he went back the second time, and then I don't know, he didn't have the players, so he only lasted a year. But like getting let go in Sacramento when that franchise was so
bad,
just had nothing, and then you just throw him out the door. I mean, that's got to be a whole like power struggle thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I do think he can coach. I know it would just be like, well, he hasn't won a championship yet, so do we want him? Like, that's the whole thing, I guess.
Well, but okay. So Dagnall never had won anything. He started at UConn. He's a UConn product. That's which he worked under Calhoun was as a student manager. I mean, the guy didn't even play college basketball, right? I mean, and he worked his way up. So, and Malone never won anything before. So I agree with you. I feel like we got to give somebody a shot now. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's embarrassing now. They still don't have a goddamn manager so Ron Washington's out indefinitely with a health issue. He never looks well. He never looks well with me. He always looks. And you saw Travis Hunter's contract fully guaranteed, 40-something million, 30 million, 40 million, but 30 million as a signing bonus. And I heard he signed no prenup with his wife.
I did hear that part with the prenup. But you know what I don't get? So when they say that, does that mean, is that just for cap purposes, or does he actually get $30 million right now?
No, he gets 30 million at the signing of the contract. No, that's how I think it always works. So I think that's what they front load it and they spread the rest out because it's fully guaranteed. They can't take that off the books.
But so I think they front load. He gets $2.5 million like each year the rest of the way. Like
that's what he gets. That's what he gets. It is crazy. Doesn't it sound crazy? But I think they want that upfront money. You know, I mean, now he can go out buy the house, the cars. He can buy, and I guess we're gonna see. Did you watch any of the Coastal Carolina LSU game yesterday?
No, I heard about it though.
But did you hear? So I was watching while we were doing the show, and I saw him get thrown out. So he was complaining ball strikes in the first inning, and then one of the umps tripped over the other guy, and he said he had the funniest goddamn comment. I'm trying to find out what he said. He said, what did he say? He said, I can't blame the guy for his physical attributes or something. He like ripped them apart because the guy tripped over his own 2 feet and then said, you're suspended 2 games. Like he goes, dude, you tripped over your own feet. That was nothing to do with me. I can't hold that. Don't hold that against me that you can't, this is what he said. I shouldn't be held accountable for a grown man's athleticism. That's what he said. Yeah. So the guy tripped over the other guy's feet. I thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was great.
And it is interesting. It doesn't matter how we get there. And I think I was talking about this with you on your show a couple weeks ago, but how every College World Series feels like it's 2 games. It never goes to the 3rd game.
No, actually, I saw a stat yesterday that the last couple of years, the team who won game 1 did not win the College World Series. This was the antithesis of what usually happens. They said, they said it has gone through, but yeah, I guess it feels like it happens more often than not, but it hasn't happened as much as.
Do you have it like in front of you? I'm just curious because I swear I saw a bunch of times that maybe unless I'm just getting confused with the years and it was like, longer ago than I think, but I just feel like there was a stretch where that always happened.
All right, I'm looking up right now. Final best of 3 results all time. I'm looking up results all time. Let's see if I can look this up. All right, here we go. Oh, here we go. World Series final. Here we go. Oh, this is 2019. Jeez. All right. Well, 2019 went 3 games. 2018 went 3 games. 2017 went 2. 16 went 2. 15 went 2. 14 went 3. 13 went 2. 12. I don't have the last couple. Of course, this is an old freaking goddamn you piece of shit. Oh, here I go.
Okay,
here I go.
But it seems like it's kind of kind of mixed, I guess.
It is mixed. Okay. That's what I'm looking at right now. So the last couple of years, yeah, they won in 2 games. 24 Tennessee won in 3 games over Texas A&M. 23 LSU won in 3 games over. So check this out. LSU played Florida in 23. They won 4-3, lost 24-4, and then won 18-4.
That's crazy.
That's a disparity. And then 22, Ole Miss beat Oklahoma in 2. Ole Miss in 21 beat Mississippi State beat Vanderbilt in 3. They lost the first game 8-2, then went 13-2, 9-0. And then Vanderbilt, then I went, so it's been up and down.
It's been mixed. Yeah. I think it was probably like, maybe it could even go back as like 20 years ago. Because to think about it, I haven't paid close attention to that in a while. It's like I feel like I always just hear what happens, but I'm not watching the game.
So, Barnes, up until 2002, it was a 1-game playoff. That was it.
Oh, okay.
That was it. So 2003, they went to a best of 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah. USC in 90. USC in 98 beat Arizona State 21-14. That must have been like bing, 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 bing. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. No, I was saying I like that they do the series thing, because if you think about it, like that's how the majors is. It's all series. So it's just nice to do, because everything else leading up to that is single elimination, right? I mean, I guess you have, there like a loser's bracket? Is that what it is?
No, so it's double elimination. So that's what it is. So yeah, I guess there is a loser. Once you lose, you're playing every game's an elimination game. And then I think at the end, then you're kind of in a winner's bracket. And then they had at the end, if Coastal had lost the game to, I forget who they played in the semis, they would have to play them again just to get back. But it's a lot. But first, it's the regionals and the super regionals. It's a lot of baseball. And and how many guys actually turn out to be legit? Like is it Cascagliano? How do you say his name? The kid from the Royals. He hit home runs. Yeah, that kid's been pretty good. But you're right. Like when you think about the Yankees, how many homegrown guys? And that's what gets me nervous about this team. Like that's what we're talking about. And I know Ernie was saying, about Alvarez getting set down, but I feel like the Yankees are not getting production. There are like automatic outs in that lineup. Way too many automatic outs lately.
Yeah. I mean, I like, I'm with everybody on Volpe. Like, I'm definitely tired of him. And then LeMahieu. But I have to say, other than that, even though like Wells has pissed me off, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like he could figure it out. And at least, like, you know what I mean? You look at Volpe. I guess for him, he has a lot of home runs right now. But I think of him as somebody that doesn't hit for average or power. But I feel like Austin Wells has some serious power and has come up in big spots despite him being very inconsistent. So that's why I'm okay with him. And
I'll tell you, I know he's been slumping, but Ben Rice hits the shit out of the ball. When I watch him, he has totally changed. He has a lot more power. Everything he hits, the exit velocity is like bam, 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 which I've been like, holy crap. Which I've been very impressed with.
If it wasn't more than likely that Goldschmidt is going to be one and done, I would say watch out for him to be the future catcher of the Yankees. But I think it would make sense for him just to go to first, and then hopefully, Wells will develop further.
So let me ask you a question. You really think Goldschmidt, this is it? This is what we're getting from him? We're not going to have him around next year? You don't think maybe they'll offer him? But that could come back to bite him in the ass like it did with who was the last first baseman? They kept signing him to the, and then Rizzo. How his average just dropped. He just lost everything, and he wasn't even that great in the field anymore. Which at least you could count him in the field, and he wasn't doing. Like DJ. Is this the last year? Or is DJ on? Is this the last year?
No, he has one more year.
Oh my God. That's great. But that's crazy. That's what it'll be. Yeah,
that's what it'll be, and that's why it's like I love Goldschmidt. But already, I think I was looking at it, he's sitting under 200 or around 200 this month, and then it's like if he tapers further, I mean, it would be foolish to re-sign him for anything other than like an incentive latent deal. But you would think and then let's say he does kind of finish hot. Like they would almost look at it like, and I know it's completely different, but it just kind of reminds me of somebody later in their career, like with Matsui, where they felt like, they've seen the best and they got out at the right time. And I think that's what they would do in this situation, especially because they have Rice.
Right. Because I think Goldschmidt has gone above and beyond. And check this out. So tonight they're going against Lodolo.
Yeah, Nick Lodolo. Yep.
So Goldschmidt is 4 for 8 with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a strikeout in his career against Lodolo. And Bellinger is 4 for 9 with an RBI and a K. So bring out your best. Bing, bing, bing. That'll be nice today. Yep. I would like that a lot.
And he's he's not bad, but that's why I like us in this series, because I feel like they don't have anybody on the mound who scares me.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you're saying about
the Reds.
Wait, you're saying about the Reds. Oh, yeah. 100%. And I thought they started at listen, you know what's crazy? They're 40-38. And for them, that's like winning 100 games right now. That's how well they're playing right now. I think there's a lot of teams that are surprised me. I'm not saying they're playoff teams, but playing better than they have played in the past. So, and it's at Cincy tonight. I thought they're away.
Yeah, and it's got to come back this weekend.
When's your next game you're going to?
Well, it's funny that you say that. I was just gonna bring this up. So I gotta see what the deal is, but I should be good for it. So Mike, from Downtime called me when I was on the golf course earlier, and he said somebody he knows who actually is going to be at the beach bash, even though he knows him from some other way, but I guess he's he follows ESPN radio and wants to join up with everybody. And I guess it's Players Day on Sunday, where before the game you get to meet the players. So Mike,
my God,
offered it to me. So I guess I would just have to buy my ticket, but I would get, I don't know any details. That's what he told me. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll definitely do that. So I'm going to find out more tomorrow.
So you'll get down on the field, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah, wow. That's what it sounds like. So it's that's something I'm not gonna pass up if that's the case. Absolutely.
And you're gonna meet Volpe and you go, I really love you so much. You're one of my favorite players. And but that would be the funny thing. It would be the one player you'd be like, good God, I gotta be Volpe. And I guess you're nice to him in a way, but you're like, dude, really?
Yeah. It's tough. But no. But you know what I always say, because these players, with all the stats they have and stuff, they don't really have to give you the time of day. So if someone's going to be nice to me, then I will appreciate that.
100%. 100%. Right. Because I do find that people remember when they were an ass. Who was I? Someone said they were somewhere and the guy's like, hey, we met an actor that Michigan loved this show, Alias. So we're at a play and we met him and he goes, come on, let's do this fast because I don't want people bothering me. I'm like, dude, you're 65 years old. Nobody knows. You're lucky that I recognize you. And he took a picture and Michigan's eyes were closed and he ran away. And I was like, you're an asshole. You know what? You could have just been like, you'd have to be a dick. So that bothers me. So I don't like people like that. I bet Volpe I bet they're all nice guys. I meant Jazz must be a hoot. Listen. You got it. So you have a ticket? Who else is going to? So Mike's going to go with you?
No.
Or
so
Matt?
That's the thing. So no. So it would be just this person he knows at the network event that I don't even know. He would be at the game, but I'll meet him at the beach bash. And I would just have to buy my ticket, but I already have the all-inclusive pass to do this. That's what Mike was saying.
Oh, so everybody else is going to be jelly of you. That's a cool thing. That's going to be cool. Put away your camera. Put away your camera. You'll be like, can I get something? No, put it away. But dude, I just want to say hi. Put it away.
Yeah. So if it's all of what I think it is, that's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. When I told you we were in Houston, and Hal's is on a fast pitch baseball team, and one of the guy's brother was on Cleveland last year, so we got to watch batting practice. And we weren't really. We were behind the fence, but I'm just watching them just hit the ball. I mean, it blows your mind when you watch it in person.
Oh,
and I said, Steve, we were there. We were right down there. And one of the guys came over. And I didn't know, it wasn't my team. So I really didn't. So it was only the Cleveland guys we got to talk to. But the guy came over, his brother, who ended up giving up 7 runs. And he was designated for assignment after the game, which really sucked. But he was so nice. He was so nice. And then you're like, God damn. But that was cool. And imagine a team you actually like.
Oh,
so you with the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be something. And,
dude.
I was going to say, you were talking about batting practice. It's a shame. And you would probably know this because I don't remember, much about the old stadium, just a little bit. Obviously, I was there and stuff.
Right.
Not how you would. So back in the day, were you able to see the Yankee? Were you able to get into the stadium early enough to see the Yankee set?
Yes, they don't do.
Okay.
They don't allow that anymore. They don't allow it anymore, right?
But is it because they hit earlier, or did you used to get there like 3 hours early?
So you know what? We got there. I'll tell you the Barnes. We got to the Houston game so early that we lasted like 4 innings. The kids were done because they'd been there so long. Yeah,
right.
We left after like they were both like 6 or 7. The kids, they didn't want it anymore.
Because when we went to San Diego, Yankees being on the road, that was the first time I really got to see them take batting practice in forever. And we were there probably, I don't know, an hour and a half early.
Oh, so the game started at 7. They were taking BP at 5:30.
Yeah, exactly. Something like
and
that.
You know, what did I read about some of the Yankees? You know that Wade Boggs was really superstitious and everything. So I think Jimmy Key would change the clock because he always took batting practice at the same time. He'd try to get the clock changed, so he'd screw around with Wade Boggs and all that. Yeah, Wade Boggs was really like, I think batting practice at this time every day. But yeah, so I guess I've never gotten. Have you ever seen batting practice at Yankee Stadium?
So
Can you get in?
I don't think you can't now unless you have a season ticket, pass or whatever. But back in the day, I know I did see them. So I think it's a combination of the stadium used to open a little earlier and that they would hit earlier.
Because it's so cool. Listen, and to hear the ball crack and watch the guy hit it, I mean, it's effortless. And especially when we were in Houston, it was just like bam, bam, bam. And I thought Steve Kwan was the bat boy. And they said, that's Steve Kwan. And Barnes, he looked like he was like 5 foot. He looked like he weighed nothing. And he was, what were you going to say?
When was this? Last year?
This was might even been 3 years ago, at least 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it was cool too, Barnes. I think I sent videos. Was definitely with the TCA guys because I sent a video. Kwan had a machine where he threw the balls in and guys were taking fielding practice where he had it looked like a vacuum that shot out the balls and guys could, that sounds weird when I say it like that, but shot out the baseballs and they would practice fielding, which was while guys were hitting. So it was kind of like stuff I never saw before. And it was awesome. So we got there early and we walked in through and it was just, it was really cool. Yeah, it was cool. That's always a lot of fun. So, yeah.
And I forgot, I think we talked about this recently, but what did you say, like, your favorite, stadium other than Yankee Stadium is that you've been to for baseball?
No, I never did. I'll tell you the truth. Okay. Of all the, okay, I'll tell you what mine is. You tell me. Fenway. When I walked into Fenway that first time, and you know what have you ever been to England? You've ever been to England?
No.
So when I saw Big Ben, I was like, that's Big Ben? It's so tiny. Well, from what my head and what I saw it, whereas Fenway, I was like, that's the Green Monster. Where it's like, it's everything I expected. So I love Fenway. I just like the history. I like that they have the handheld scoreboard. So I guess you saw the same thing kind of Wrigley with the IV. What's your favorite out of all your stadiums?
So I would say definitely San Diego.
The new one. It's that nice. It's that nice.
Yeah. It's by far the nicest stadium I've ever been to. Like we were
really,
saying, geez, like this makes Yankee Stadium just from like the aesthetic portion of it. The fact that you have the downtown gas lamp district in the background. And they incorporate, there's a park behind center field and they incorporate that in as a fan fest. So they have like cornhole, $5 beers before games on Fridays. Like it's just very like interactive with the fans. And then watching the batting practice was unbelievable.
Is that it? What I didn't mean to cut you up, but I wanted to ask you, was there like not a bad seat? Like even if you were up top, was it still like a good, was it every seat there was no obstructed seats there, correct?
No, no obstructed seats. And the first day we were in the 100 section. The second day we were in like the 300, but we were in the first row, and the seats were perfect.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if I had to move, I'd move to San Diego, which I heard is not. It's so congested now compared to what it used to be, but it always looks awesome there. Yeah, I would love to go to that stadium.
Yeah. And I've only been to. I went to 2 games last year, but I've been to San Diego like I think 4 or 5 times because like me and my girlfriend used to vacation there. Now we found Newport Beach we like a little better, but always been one of my favorite places to visit for sure.
Right. Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm just like, I'm so like, that's what, and I know people talk, the old Yankee Stadium had something about it. It's just so corporate, the new stadium. I mean, it is what it is. It's still Yankee Stadium. It's still, I love being there. I just felt, I thought they took things away from the old stadium that they didn't put into the new stadium, which they could have.
One thing I would ask, and I get that part of it, but don't you think if there's a stretch like coming up where the Yankees win 3 championships in 5 years or something like that, that it will make the new stadium more like historical and have even a better vibe than it already has?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, I get where non-Yankee fans go. You and your championships that you guys. It's all 27. What was the last time you won one? And you really can't really say anything back in that respect because you're like, yeah, okay, all right. You don't have to be so mean about it. But yeah, we hear you.
Well,
but yeah,
I think it's. Oh no, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No. I'm done. What were you saying? What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say I think it's twofold because at the end of the day, the Yankees. I mean, it's either win or bust. Like there's no in between.
Right.
But I feel like at the same time, though, we still deserve respect for being the model of consistency, where we never get off the rails and we're always in the conversation. We just need to get the job done more. But that part of being in the conversation every year is very hard, and that's why there really aren't comparisons around the league that you could say the same about, other than just recently the Dodgers.
Okay, so the question I want to ask you is, I think it's a great point what you brought up, but do you think that the Yankees competing every goddamn year has actually hurt them in a way because they haven't really they're always like reloading the holster kind of thing where they're not letting, like you said, we're not really developing our own players, and that's hurt us in a way too. And now we made the World Series last year, so that was great. But do you think that it's also like, I mean, do you think Dominguez is on a short leash? Volpe, is this the last year of Volpe? Or they're going to give him, like, are some guys on a short leash now because you gotta perform right away? Or what do you think about that?
No, because how he's always looking to save money, and what's a better way to save money than to have controllable players?
Right.
So I think those guys will get their fair share of chances, and I think there's certain guys like Volpe where they'll keep him around longer because I think they just like him. They were always high on it, thinking about like Cashman not committing a mistake. And speaking of him, I think he's the reason why they haven't won more. But at the same time, he's the reason that they're always consistent. So I just think if you had a different GM with different ideas, then that would help with like development and stuff. But at the same time, you have to take the consistency and know that I really do believe that even though it's not done, all the way I would like it done, that sooner rather than later, they're going to get the job done and win because there is a ton of talent. And, they also have been, I think, besides the fact that I think he doesn't always make the best decision. I mean, you tell me I'm wrong. I think that they have had terrible luck, and luck always, to a certain degree, always plays a role in winning a championship.
Wait, so they've had terrible luck in per se of guys of just how the things work out
in the postseason, like
Judge, yeah, right,
yeah,
and Judge
exactly.
Not really hit. Judge performing really. Where imagine, like I was telling that if Judge gave me one game where he dominates, like where he has like that, even Friday night, what did he go 3 for 4 with a home run? And it still wasn't enough because no one else hit. That I'll take. If he's hitting 3 for 4 and he's doing all he can, but no one else, that's okay. But that's what I want from. That's all. I'm not expecting Judge to have but I'd like him to have where at least 1 or 2 games where he has a play where it affects, and that's what I would like from him. And
and I was saying too, and I don't know if we talked about this that time when we really talked about this in length, but I do think a reason why, at the end of the day, he's got to perform. He's the number one reason why. But I think he would have already had that big postseason if other guys around him were contributing. And you look back to like recent years, who else other than Juan Soto has consistently contributed around him in the lineup? And
right. So, and that's a great point because if I'm the guy they know they have to worry about, and they know that, there's nobody around protecting him, then what's going to happen? And that's the problem. There's nobody, but he had a lot of guys last year where nobody else was doing anything.
Yeah,
Wells.
And it's my mistake. I forgot Stanton. But other than that, like
Right.
you're talking about Wells, automatic out everybody else.
Right. Jazz was an automatic out. Volpe actually had a better postseason, I think, than he had a regular season, if I'm correct. But everybody else, who was first? What Rizzo?
Rizzo
was
absolutely
nothing. Yeah, it was not a good. Yeah, I actually want to look that up. Now you're making me want to look that up because now I'm kind of curious. Yankees. Oh, that's what I'll do. I know what I have to look up. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look up Yankees last season, and then I could just look at the playoffs, right? Yankees. Because then I was kind of curious how they did in the postseason, all the guys. And you were right. A lot of guys had a terrible.
Like even we thought Glaber had a good postseason. He didn't even really actually. He had a couple like big hits, but he didn't actually do as well as we thought. I think he hit like 250.
Right. Yeah. So I'm looking up right. Yeah. No. Okay. Here we go. Playoffs. Okay. Here we go. Playoffs. Glaber Torres led the Yankees with a 2-4. Oh, I guess if we're going by batting, I guess, yeah, let me see. Torres hit 241, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Soto hit 327 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. Judge hit 184 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Stanton 273, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs. Jazz hit 182 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. Volpe hit 286 with a home run and 8 RBIs. Verdugo, who was terrible. Verdugo hit 208 with a home run, 8 RBIs. Wells was 120. Wow. Wells went 6 for 50. Do we go by plate appearances or at bats? It's plate appearances or at bats, Barnes. Okay, so he went 6 for 50 for a 120 average. Yeah.
Right.
Rizzo went 267 with no home runs and no RBIs. He went 8 for 30 with a 1 double. So of his 8 hits, 7 were singles.
First baseman who's supposed to be
right.
Like you're supposed to get big production.
And then the other 3 guys that played was John Bertle got 12 at bats with 2 hits. He went 182. Cabrera had went 1 for 9. And then Trevino went 1 for 5. So that's it. That was it. So so when you really think about it, he had Stanton had as many RBIs as Soto and Judge combined. They had 18 combined. He had 16.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of guys contributed nothing. So you're talking about from everybody else besides Stanton. I mean, Judge did hit 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, but yeah, I mean, from the bottom of the lineup, it is garbage. Yeah. Yeah. Like nothing. I mean, automatic.
Like Tommy Edman winning the NLCS MVP. When is somebody like that produced for us in the playoffs?
Oh, you mean, like Freeman. Like Freeman did.
Exactly. But even if what I'm saying is like these teams that win, they have guys that you would look at going into the World Series. Oh, they're just like not that good. They're just average, and they do great. But that's how you win a championship, and we never have that.
Yeah, well, you know what you made me think of? The Dodgers last year, because Ohtani did not have Ohtani had just an okay, postseason, right? I mean, I don't think, right. So now you made me want to look. Now this is awesome. Doing this is like drugs. Okay, so Ohtani, 230. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He went 14 for 61. So that's their main guy. Mookie Betts, 290. Jesus. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. Hernandez, 250. 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Then Muncy, who I think he knocked in 7 runs yesterday. He hit 163, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. But then you have Tommy Edman, who had 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, hit 328. Now, Will Smith did not have a good post, did not do well. He hit 143 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Then Kiki Hernandez, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, hit 294. Then Freeman, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, 250. But it seems like he did that in one series. Gavin Lux at 176, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Andy, how do you say his name? Is it Paez?
Yeah,
Paez. 211, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and then Chris Taylor, Rojas, Kevin Kiermaier, basically, yeah. So the number, that's the thing. You look at these numbers and the Yankees are comparable, you know? Yeah, Ohtani was hurt, right, Josh? But it's
yeah, the margin of victory was not that big. But also,
no.
as you say, they're comparable, but at the same time, there were still, like, you could just tell there were more guys who, wow, they were a solid contributor, where we were just clawing tooth and nail for anybody outside of, Stanton and Soto.
Right. And that's the thing too. You need a guy like Edman and Freeman. That's what you need. You need other guys and there's always those guys in the postseason. The Yankees didn't have those guys this year. You want one of the guys like a Verdugo or a Volpe. You need, there's always that guy who has that series where you're like, damn. And we didn't have that guy. And Judge. I mean, Judge, to be that great, that's the thing. And I know we talk about this ad nauseum, but to be that good, not even good, to be phenomenal regular season player, and then to be so like, yeah. I'm even looking at the Mets, and the Mets is crazy. So Barnes, basically, you have Lindor, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, hit 380, hit 275. Alonso, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, 273. Vientos, 514, 327. And then from there, it's Nimmo, who you needed to have. Nimmo only had a home run, 6 RBIs, 220. What did he go? He went 11 for 58, which is 11 for 50. And then Starling Marte, yeah, he had 3 RBIs. So that's a guy. Iglesias, also, regular season had been better. He had 3 RBIs. You had Winker at a home run and 4 RBIs. But there's a lot of, after those 3, basically Alonso, Vientos, and Lindor. And after that, and Marte had 9 RBIs, but such a drop off and no home runs. None. They had, basically, it was 5 guys hit home runs for the team. That's it. No, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 guys on the Mets hit home runs. That's it. You got all your production from basically, and that doesn't cut it. You know, that means you have automatic outs throughout the lineup. So you're not winning a lot of things. So interesting.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah. So.
And I was just gonna say, it feels like, and obviously I know it's like just like Judge, where you have to see it to believe it. But I mean, you tell me, but doesn't it feel like we at least have a chance, even if we go in with the lineup we have now, of having more contributions up and down the lineup than we did last year?
Okay. So, well, that's a good point. Okay. Now, if you go down, let me get the lineup up for today because we don't have everybody. So that means you're expecting Ben Rice to contribute because he really wasn't on the right. Ben Rice.
Yep.
So I'm expecting something from him. I think Goldschmidt is another guy you'll get production, which you wouldn't have gotten last year.
With contact, too. Somebody that has 2 outs, 2 strikes that can get a single.
Right. But I worry about Jazz. I mean, I hope Jazz. This is the thing. I understand this last 17 games. What was his batting average? Ernie put up, he's 331 or something like that?
Or 350, something like that.
350, right. Now, there's 81 games left and 85 games left. I'd love him to be, I'll take 275 the rest of the year. If he hits 275 next, that'd be great. And go into the playoffs. I feel the thing is, though, Volpe and Stanton have been like automatic outs this year. Like, I think every time we need a big hit, like that's like Volpe on Saturday at home run when they were up 7-0. That's Volpe. That used to be A-Rod to me. A-Rod would get I hated Nick Swisher. I never was Nick Swisher. Nick Swisher would always get like a 7 RBI game and then do nothing the rest of the week. And that's, so yeah, I mean, yeah. But the good thing is, Barnes, is that the AL is so mediocre this year that all they have to do is, and they get to the World Series. And that's the thing, too. I feel like the Dodgers have a lot of pressure on them to repeat. Maybe because that's what everybody said. You paid all this money, they should repeat. Where I thought the Mets, Philly again, always, in the playoffs, they just seem to. Trey Turner's been hitting the shit out of the ball. So I feel like the Padres also, who've been up and down. I feel like the AL, if I look at the standings right now, I feel like they have a pretty, nice route right now. I mean, wait, if we go through the standings right now, Tampa Bay's not catching them. I know they're 2.5 out. Toronto, yeah. Boston. I think Detroit, I think the one team, and you can never count out Houston, but I think even Houston is not the same team that they were in the past.
No, Alvarez has been terrible, hand injury all season.
Right.
They've had other injuries. So yeah, I think it does come down to Detroit. We did lose the series to them, but at least you feel like, okay, but we can still beat them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And I
yes.
would feel like we're the better team still, even though they have a
Yes.
better record.
Yeah, like I feel like it's good to be an AL team. It would be, but yeah, I mean the NL is more stacked, but I don't know how many of these teams are actually good. And I still like everybody's saying the Dodgers are very good. I think they're very good offensively, but with so many pitchers hurt and so many guys they keep like bringing in and out, I just wonder how good are
And I said it before all these injuries happens. I said I don't think they're making it back to the World Series. Like people don't realize that it's so hard to go back to back. That's why we haven't had a repeat champ in 25 years.
Isn't that? Yeah, you're right. We haven't had a repeat champ in 25 years. I mean, that blows your mind when you think about it. I mean, that's like like Florida got a repeat, and hockey's even. But yeah, football's been forever. Yeah, baseball's been forever. So a friend of mine, Brandon, did a parlay. He picked the Panthers, Flyers, OKC, and he picked the Dodgers to win it all for $5. If the Dodgers win, he wins like 1,700. But he says he's going to try to cash out beforehand to get whatever he gets. He said, and I said, yeah.
Wait, but the Flyers?
No, I'm sorry. I said it wrong. He picked the Panthers. No, he picked the Florida basketball team. College basketball. He picked the Panthers in the NHL. He took OKC in basketball, and he took the Dodgers to win the World Series. It was a $5 parlay. If the Dodgers win, he wins $1,750, I think. So right now he is 3 of the 4. Yeah, which I'll be honest with you because OKC was up. I mean, I know they were number 1 seed, but that doesn't mean anything anymore, and they never won it. So you don't know how a team reacts to that. Whereas I feel. I mean, the Dodgers are looking right now. They're 48-31. They're 7-3 the last 10. But I feel, and the Cubs are playing better than they have. I just don't know if they can carry it over for the whole season. That's what I like. Jonathan Green on the chat said it's the battle of attrition, and I agree with all the sports. It's like who can get there and who can stay the healthiest at the end, and that's all you hope for right now. And the Mets are in trouble pitching. You're going to bring back Montas and Minaya, and you don't know if they're going to be any good. They just signed what's his name, Dickey. I mean, who Bumble said is a 5.55 ERA, 5.55 ERA. He's a journeyman. I mean, who are you picking up in June? You're picking up someone else's trash that you hope that you told to turn into something good. But it's a crapshoot. Now, somebody brought up a good point though. They said Buck Showalter said yesterday there's some guys that know the game. And he was talking about Will Warren. You get a guy 28-29 who knows what he's doing. He just isn't with the right team. And that's the thing. You hopefully can find those gems in the rough. And, I know you said you don't want Will Warren to pitch in the playoffs, but maybe he could be a guy that could eat up innings if one of the starters has a bad run of it. So, and Yarbrough was pitching well.
Future, yeah, Yarbrough before the injury, but the future Warren could definitely be part of it. I'm just saying I know for this year, barring something.
But okay, so let me ask you a question. What do you think of do you trust Rodon in playoff games? Like, is he the guy? He's my game 2 guy. Do you say he's going to I still don't feel like he's a lock. That's the thing. I feel like, and Fried didn't look good Friday. He looked off from the get-go. You would agree on that, right? He looked off. Did I lose you? Did he go? Oh. No, I didn't hear first. I thought you froze for a second. I said all that and I didn't hear. I was like, eh?
No, I feel good about the rotation, honestly. And I know like Rodon, hasn't done well in the postseason for us yet. But I think he's a different pitcher this year. Fried's been unbelievable. And I think the wild card really is Luis Gil. If Luis Gil comes back and is really good, and the way Clark Schmidt's pitching, I mean, you had the trivia question with the ERA in the American League. I think that's pretty solid.
I love Clark Schmidt because Clark Schmidt seems to me the type of pitcher who has amnesia. Like if he has a bad inning, he just blocks it out and he's a grinder. And I love that about him. That's the thing. I think the thing I think I'm so hard on Jazz just looks like baseball's effortless to him. It looks like the game, it isn't hard to him, but it's not all connecting yet. And when it does, because that's what I feel like. I feel like he gives the impression, and then there's things, he swings the pitches, he doesn't have discipline at the plate, but then he'll hit one and you'll be like, Jesus, does he have power?
Yeah, no, and I said it. I think he has all-star talent, mediocre discipline.
Right.
So, you're just hoping because, we got him under contract next year. Let's be real. He's probably not a guy you're going to give like some big money contract to, but you're just hoping that you just get a stretch from him where he is just on fire, and you hope that's the postseason, and you hope he steps up and relishes the moment. Because they really didn't give up much to get him.
No.
So that's why I said I think he's one of the most important guys, because he could go either way. It could go real bad, or he could just go off and be a menace on the bases and
right.
really be a big contributor.
Because he takes off and he's at third and but then I see him run up the first baseline and he's half-assing it, like, because he goes, oh, they're gonna catch it. You never know. Guy drops the ball, you just never know. And that's what drives me crazy, because listen, Cano made it look effortless. He would just, and I just wish, man, if he could play like Cano, we'd be in heaven. That's fine, because Cano was solid with the Yankees, and maybe that's what I want. I put him at second base and just keep him second base. Yep.
Trade for a third baseman, and maybe get another pitcher. I would think a reliever, because it just, as long as Heel is healthy, I don't see how they're really going to acquire a starting pitcher unless they're taking a chance on somebody that they don't have to give up much for.
I agree. Yeah, so I agree with you, because a lot of it is based on Heel coming back and Heel. So you would hope he finishes. What do you think he'll get? How many starts will he get? He'll get at least pitches every fifth.
He's going to come back end of July. So you think about it, August, September, so 2 months. So he'll get 8 starts, 9 starts.
So, and I'll tell you, I'm happy. I just want to see him pitch like a gradual turn up kind of thing, where he just gradually, and that's all I need to see from him. And then that's the thing. And then the postseason, I know. I don't want to get ahead,
And he pitched okay in the World Series. They kind of had a tight leash on him. And I'm not saying that I'm expecting him to just go off and be like a Cy Young candidate that he actually did look like for the first half of the season last year. But
right.
The fact is, he does have the potential to be dominant. It all comes down to, like most pitchers, throwing strikes. If he could do that, his off speed mixed with that fastball, upper 90s, that's hard to hit.
Right. Yeah, hard. It is. It's hard to hit. Yeah, it gets you excited, because now you're thinking, you get through this and you're like, okay, let's get through this, and then we'll go from there. And we'll and that's the thing too. It's, how many get? What are they? They're at what are they? 42 in
what?
Yeah, 45 to 87 games. They played 87. I'm sorry, 77. My bad. They haven't played. We haven't got halfway. And they're over 500 home and away, which is. And it's so check this out. They're plus 110 run differential. Tampa Bay is plus 70. Then Blue Jays are minus 10. Red Sox are plus 15. And the Baltimore Orioles are minus 85. So the Yankees have the best run differential I'm looking right now. They have the best run differential in baseball. But even the Dodgers only plus 78.
Well, you're saying the Yankees do.
Yeah, Yankees have plus 110. And the Dodgers only have plus 78, and the Dodgers are 17 games over. So that means also it makes me feel like that they're winning games. They're getting a little luck involved too, where, they're getting, things are falling. So that's interesting that they're, wow. I thought it was, and the Mets are plus 61, but they did not have a good 8 days. Yeah. So, hey, you so let's do this. Let's go to Discord. I'll tell everybody go to Discord. All right. Because I got to switch. All right. You were great today, dude. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right.
Appreciate you. I'll talk to you in a second.
I'll talk to you. All right. We're going to Discord.